Now, I want each one of you to assess the previous 3 years papers. Okay, we've had 14 and then 17 and then 20. We've had 3 batches of papers. So 14 only we didn't have that clear segregation of topics. Like we didn't have section A, B, C. From 17 onwards only we started having it like section A, B, C. And then, next batch, like 20 batch, it was even more organized paper. Okay, so you can see the evolution nature of, evolving nature of the paper. Okay, so now tell me the first question. Okay, so briefly explain the different types of communication. So look into your syllabus and tell me which part of your syllabus falls this question. Organizational behavior. Unit 3 only they have given something about communication. Therefore, the question is from Unit 3. Yes? Okay. Then next one. Significance of planning process in decision making and evaluate the components of plan. So planning. Where does it come? Isn't it Unit 4, guys? Unit 5 is all about management tools and techniques. And then in Unit 4, you will, even before you touch to the tools and techniques, you would have started off with plan and planning components. Okay. So roughly 4 and 5. Okay. So critically evaluate the problems associated with the delegation of authority. So they're talking about delegation of authority. Where? 3. Does it say explicitly delegation of authority? Okay. Then leadership is situational in the light of the 4 leadership. Okay. And then analysis of reformative techniques of monitoring and evaluation. So this is Unit 5. They're talking about the tools and techniques. Unit 6. Okay. Because it talks about your reforms, alva. So there you will be finding this question again. Okay. So welfare measures again of SC/ST women. 6. Administrative reforms question. Then between the formal and informal organization. Unit 4. Okay, now. So there's one unit that is unquestioned in this year. Which unit is that? No, in the entire section I'm talking about. There is one section called IR. See, when we are having classes, we are going to have this PUBAD and IR segregation. But otherwise, question paper only are going to have this set of questions in one whole bulk. So here, you do not have that question. IR is not here. Okay, so 17 only when we went for exams, we were like, so confident that IR is that that area which is not going to be questioned. Okay, so it was a bouncer for us. Okay, IR chapter okay, we didn't study at all. So we got back. Okay, so then in 17 paper, you will see one IR question. Okay, so here, see, and again, you cannot say that unit 1 is not asked here. Okay, because if they are talking about this one, without understanding Unit 1, you can't answer this question. Okay, na? So 1 to 5, whatever units we have, no, they are all interconnected. Okay, it is a development from one point to another point, from one point to another point. So it's like a sequence of topics that are evolving over a period of time. So it does not mean that Unit 1 is not involved in this. Unit 1 is definitely involved in this. Okay, yes. So moving ahead. Now goes your 2017 paper. Okay, now. So firstly, confirm the role of Home Department in the maintenance of law and order situation in the state. Okay, so do you find this anywhere explicitly in your syllabus? Okay, Unit 6. Okay, then factors of NPA, New Public Administration. 1. Yes, and then Herzberg's 2-factor theory of motivation. 3 or 4? 4. Okay. And then Balwant Rai Mehta Committee, Panchayat Raj and all that administrative reform. 6. Okay. And then these are management tools and techniques, Fishbone, Pareto and performance appraisal. So this is Unit 5, management tools and techniques. And then second ARC, again 6. And then achievements of International Labour Organization in promoting labor welfare in Asiatic countries. Okay, so that year we had signed one international convention. Okay, so we have conventions, right? So international conventions on labor, we have 6 codes. We have signed, we are signatories to 4 codes. 2 more codes are pending, alva. So that year we had signed one of the international convention, and therefore you are finding this question. So this is your IR question. Okay. So because we were preparing for current affairs also parallelly, essay again the prepare madkondiದ್ದು, it was helpful here. Okay, so no question goes unattempted. That's a rule in KPSC, right? So that is how we could attempt this question. Okay, so this year we got a hint that you have to study IR as well. Okay, so next year was an even big bounce up because question 1, 2, it moved to 2 questions in 2020. Look at this. First 2 questions only IR. One about UNGA and the other one is about SAARC. Okay, so UNGA is like a world parliament. Examine the powers and functions of General Assembly. Very simple and easy question. If you know something about UNGA, like it's the working body, executive body of our United Nations, UNO. So if you know that, you can write a very good answer. What it does, like a parliament. Okay, so that's how it works for the entire member countries. Okay, so it's a very simple question. And then role of India in achieving the aims and objectives of SAARC. Okay, so we were very much interested in bringing SAARC leaders to the swearing in of the EPM and all those. So SAARC was like see, SAARC is very important for us. You should remember this. SAARC is a ancient body. Okay, but still it's got its relevance even today in 21st century. Okay, so SAARC is like one significant body that does have a very significant say in the regional politics. Okay, na? So it's important to read the bodies. Okay, so 2 questions from IR. Okay, na? Then comes our NPM, again first one, and then Administration and Management, first one, then Central Agencies of Law and Order, Unit 6, and then Responsive Administration, Unit 1. So all these standard questions are there, no? Static areas. That is not given in the previous paper at all. Okay, so now you should understand the nature of papers. Okay, from 14 to 17 to 20, what happened, and you should understand. Okay, so this paper became more open to more of on a GS basis. Okay, so it does not stick to see in PubAd there are 2 components. One is static and the other one is the dynamic part. Okay, so static part is what we are going to discuss largely in the class. Okay, but dynamic part, you have to grab them in the current affairs. You have to constantly keep, we'll discuss the examples. Okay, but otherwise dynamic part is the one that actually brings the relevance of studying any subject, right? So dynamic part mele they are focusing more. Okay, so these 2 are like very much standard, like static part and then like look at this. Central Agencies in Maintenance of Law and Order, very much like a dynamic concept. Okay, and again responsive administration, being responsible to good governance, again a more dynamic concept. Okay, so 2 on dynamic and 2 on static part, and this is IR. Okay, yes, so this is how the questions come up in exam. Okay, so if this is what we see in 2020, in 2023 what are we going to see?
Maybe more IR questions linked to current.
Maybe, may not be. Okay, so analytical questions can be little more high, but also we can definitely expect the static part also. Okay, because without static they cannot make everything to be general, but you'll never know. Again, you saw this geography paper, it was like very much open, right? So it can be, it need not be like based on static also, but our duty is to completely study the static part and build on the dynamic part as well. Okay, so public administration requires 3 things to be focused on. One thing is clearly understanding your concepts and the syllabus. Okay, and second thing is the dynamic part comes only with examples. That examples come from current affairs. Okay, and third thing is your presentation. These are the 3 things that give you marks in public administration. So if you pay attention to this, you definitely can easily attempt all the questions, and this is one area that you can bank on. If you feel that section 1 of paper 1 is not something that you can score with, you can pay attention to work on your strengths than working on your weaknesses. Okay, you should play with your strengths every day, right or not? So this is one of the areas where everybody can become very good at. So that can be your strength. Okay, na? So section 3 of paper 2 should always be like, see, if let's assume that like, you know, how many questions? 6 questions, right? So of 21 questions or 20 questions, last year ella 20 questions ಮಾಡಿದ್ರು paper ಅಲ್ಲಿ, right? So that way 6, 7, 7, 6 ಅಂತ ಮಾಡಿದ್ರು, right? So if it is 6 questions, okay, of 6 questions, if you can get solid 60 marks, nothing more than that, okay? So, and also this area is a very simple area. You can grab, you know, hold of it very quickly. At the limited time invested and limited efforts put in, you get more returns on this. Got it? Yes. Why I'm constantly, you know, insisting on that particular thing is because this is one strong area. You can easily bank on it. Okay, so if your geography of Karnataka, if you do not know some question, then you have to read and then only, you know, work on it. Okay, but BABAT is not like that. If you have done the basic study on your syllabus, you definitely can attempt any question. Got it? Yes. All right.